Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, Gary here for Bizarre Brain Comics. We'd like to talk about comics, break down the art and the creators. This time we're not going to talk too much about the creators though, other than in the work. Today, I want to talk about this little gem right here. It is a Marvel and DC co-publication. This is Spider-Man and Superman, or actually, more correctly, Superman and Spider-Man as it's listed here. This is the second time they teamed up. This is from 1981. And it was scripted by Jim Shooter and drawn by Big John himself, Big John Buscema, and a whole host of people who inked it. This, of course, this is the second time they had this crossover between these two characters, and this time they included a little extra with also featuring the Hulk and Wonder Woman. Wonder if that had anything to do with their recent TV series of those two characters. Like I said, this is the second time these characters have had crossed over, and it has the Hulk and Wonder Woman as well. Then there was another crossover sometime later, which was Batman and the Hulk. I've got that somewhere, and I've got the first one somewhere too. I haven't been able to find my big one like this, and I don't know whatever happened to it. But at least I do have the standard-sized reprint from several years ago. So, Jim Shooter, of course, was a writer primarily for Marvel, and eventually became the editor-in-chief at Marvel. He has a bit of a dubious reputation, being a bit of a jerk. I don't know that from firsthand, just from what I understand. Could be, could not be. And then John Buscema, whose work goes back at least to the 50s, and was a big artist on virtually everything that Marvel produced, at least in their earlier days. Did a lot of the Avengers, Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., you name it. Silver Surfer, Fantastic Four, and did some Spider-Man. To my knowledge, just to my knowledge, this is the only time he drew Superman for publication. To my knowledge, I've never seen anything else of Superman drawn by Buscema. So let's go take a look at Spider-Man, Superman. Da, 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 da. Okay, there you can get a good view of the whole cover. There's no credits. It's obviously drawn by John Buscema, but I don't know who, because it looks like a full painting. Maybe Buscema himself did the whole painting. I'm not sure. So, and I've had this for 40 years, and it's got some wear on it. And then here you can see the back cover, so it can feature them with Hulk and Wonder Woman. And this is a long story, and so I'm going to try to go through it fairly quickly. Here we have, in New York, Spidey just swinging around Manhattan, lamenting his life as usual, and he comes across someone busting into the side of a bank. Okay, and great John Buscema backgrounds. I mean, full detailed. He's best known, of course, or maybe best loved for his many years' work on Conan the Barbarian and Savage Sword of Conan, the Conan character. Now, one little criticism I have, and it's no biggie, is he is great at doing big muscular figures. And a variety, he's great at doing a whole variety of figures. But by my way of thinking, he's got Spider-Man just a little bit too muscular and bulky. That's just my preference. Some artists have done him even bigger and bulkier. But of course, he's supposed to be more slimmer and smaller. There he is, taking a whack at these bank thieves, and they start blasting back at him, but they're using some kind of high-tech laser-type weapons. So he does a little... they're getting close to him. He just takes one and takes them all out. And meanwhile, getting his pictures. Now here is an excellent product illustration of Nikon camera. I mean, that could have been right out of an ad. Here he is still taking them out. And his spider sense is going off, and he doesn't know why. Because the danger should be over. And the cops are coming. Someone called in. And as soon as he's done, the cops get there and they blame Spidey. And here we see, well, someone was watching Spidey during this whole affair. Who could that have been? None other than Dr. Doom. A great rendition of Dr. Doom. And is in whatever lair he happens to be in at the moment. And the great representation of the pseudo scientific technology. And of course, as Doom usually does, he's walking around and talking to himself. It's exposition. And then, so he sees what's going on, reviewing stuff, and talks about his plans for whatever evil plan he's got, Project Omega. And here he has his servant, because he was talking himself, and then explains here why. Because every word he utters is being recorded, and he says here he wants it transcribed, and he wants to read it through it later for the transcription. And here he is in his personal quarters, and as he does very rarely, removes his mask from his armor and laments whatever has disfigured his features. And to what extent? Over the years, this is various things, from just a simple small scar to horribly mutilated. And he smashes the mirror in anger. And here he is, back at his machines, at a monitor, and watching the Hulk in Metropolis, because he's got a plan going with the Hulk, using the Hulk as a pawn. Meanwhile, here's Peter. Oh no, he's up too late. Nothing, and almost late for school, because this is when he was going to college. Tries to get a date with a girl, but he doesn't have any money, so she's just being kind of stuck up about it. And then he laments about all the hospital bills for his Aunt May. Goes to see Jolly J. Jonah Jameson at the Daily Bugle, and doesn't want to buy any of his pictures. And how about Superman? Yeah, this is the first hint that we've got that in this world, Superman and Spider-Man coexist. And so Petey gets kind of ticked off. And gets and leaves, because he won't get something like Superman. And then here we are in Metropolis, the helicopter carrying reporters for WGBN network, which is Clark Kent and Lois Lane, because this is in the Bronze Age, before Crisis on Infinite Earths, and they work on a television station as well as for the Daily Planet, and going to where the Hulk is on a rampage. And boy, is that a rampage. That's a great rendition of all this destruction that the Hulk has gone on. And then, so Clark takes a little peek with his X-ray vision. Couldn't spot him. Then they go back and they're in a meeting with Morgan Edge and Perry White. And here's Lana Lang, Clark's old high school classmate, as well as Jimmy Olsen, and who is not the young cub reporter, but is now, at this point in time, he has his own program and own stuff, and a column, and he's known as Mr. Action. And then, of course, Steve Lombard, jerk jock, trying to make a fool out of Clark, and of course Clark surreptitiously makes a fool out of him. And now they're saying, oh, the Hulk is getting close. Clark sees him with his X-ray vision. Classic big old Hulk. Big old Hulk, just the way he's supposed to be. John Buscema had a lot of experience drawing the Hulk. And one thing I wanted to mention back here with this Dr. Doom and his soliloquy, this gives him an excuse. And I think that was good on Jim Shooter's part. This gives him an excuse for all the talking to himself he always does, because he has it recorded. And I meant to mention that earlier. I slipped right by it. Go, here they are, and Clark's trying to figure out a way to get out. So he can go change to Superman and go deal with the Hulk. And so he kind of surreptitiously makes it sound like they are in danger, stomping his foot, making like the Hulk is smashing stuff. And everyone else panics, and they try to take the stairs to get out of the building. And Clark slips away, and there he goes as Superman. So this is really the first image I think I've ever seen of John Buscema's version of Superman. He's big, bulky, but lean and smooth, which he should be, and he's probably drawn about the proportions that he would for Thor. And by my way of thinking, I think that would be an interesting matchup between Superman and Thor. And then here's where the Hulk is rampaging and people are running around in panics. Great man in the street, horrified expressions, but just the sheer variety of people, the way they look. And there's the Hulk smashing stuff. Hulk smash! That's what he does. He's angry, getting angry. And here's Soups come down, and instead of just starts smashing back, he tries to talk the Hulk down. Of course, Hulk just says, shut up. This is when the Hulk was in his dumb phase, one of his many dumb phases. Still trying to talk him down, and then they get into real brawl. At this point in time, Bus rides into town with Peter Parker on board because he wanted to see what he could do, trying to get pictures of Superman or something. So here's the Brannigan, and switch to Spider-Man. Meanwhile, here's the Brannigan. Hulk Superman smash. And the Hulk plays dead, smashes Soups clear across town, and then continues smashing. And then he's grunting about the loud noise that he hears. It's making him angry. And he smashes the ground. Shakes the whole city, it seems. Even Spidey notices. Then Spidey gets there, and he tries, holy cow, hey Hulk. Then Soups gets back before Spidey has a chance to do anything. And then there's Soups confronting Hulk again. And this time, Hulk has got himself, Superman has got himself, he's ready and he's got himself planted. And Hulk just, his blow is just virtually ineffective. And just, of course, that just makes him madder, which makes him stronger until it gets to the point where, well, Soups has to actually do something. But while this is going on, he spots the little gizmo that's emitting the noise, the sound, flying around Hulk's head. It's almost invisible. Superman snatches it, crushes it, and that's what was enraging the Hulk and causing the rampage. And there, Soups talks the Hulk down until he's calm, and eventually turns it back into Bruce Banner, and Spider-Man takes off. And talk about inferiority complex. He says he felt like a fifth wheel. He was totally ineffectual, and that kind of plagues him through the story. And Superman goes back, but here we go at the scene of all that battle. Here comes the Superman villain, the Parasite, and he crawls out of a hole in the ground. But he's so weak. He has no strength. And it turns out that this was a plan from Dr. Doom. He smashed the ground right where the Parasite was imprisoned, had been imprisoned there by Superman until a more permanent prison cell could be constructed for him. And it's just as Doom planned. Again, big, strong, muscular figure, and I would think the Parasite should be less bulky, not really bad criticism of Buscema on this. It's mostly the way he draws figures. So, and then as he gets stronger, he should then get bulkier. And I think that's the way some later interpretations of him have been. He got out, but now his strength is waned because the Parasite absorbs energy from living beings. Well, it just so happens that Spider-Man is the closest by, and being a superpowered being, even that far away, Parasite is able to get some of his strength. So Peter is about to black out right into the arms of Jimmy Olsen. They become friends. They talk. Takes him to the Daily Planet WGN building, and meets some people. Give him a tour of the place and says, "Oh, while we're here, we can get your pictures developed, and I need to pick the pace up a little bit." And here he is, practically falls in love with Lana Lang. He's already met Lois Lane before. Perry White is nice. He's used to J. Jonah Jameson, and Perry White is nice but still firm. So offers him to pay him a lot more money than Jonah would have for the picture, so he sells them to him. And thinking about him going, staying there for a while, do some work. Meanwhile, Clark takes a bit of a sabbatical at the last minute, which is in his contract that he can do. And he does this, and he explains here why in his own thoughts, because he thinks there's something going on. Because the Parasite is gone, and I think someone was using the Hulk to do just exactly what happened. So he decides gets away. He goes to New York, because he figures it could only be Dr. Doom or Lex Luthor, and he knows where Lex Luthor is in prison somewhere. So he goes to check out Dr. Doom, goes to New York, and to the Latvian embassy. He's showed right in, talks to Doom, and Buscema does a great Dr. Doom. Great Dr. Doom. Probably no one other than Jack Kirby could have done a better Dr. Doom. And then they talk, and he zaps Soups with kryptonite, admitting that he's being a poor host by doing so. And Soups is on the ground and virtually helpless, getting weaker, but he noticed that the floor and walls were all lined with lead, obviously, so he couldn't see through things. And so he takes advantage of that. While he still has enough strength, wraps himself up in the flooring, which is lead lined, and then makes himself basically a suit of armor, lead armor, gets the kryptonite and throws it into the sun. And the only reason he doesn't take Dr. Doom in is because he's on Latverian soil, and Doom is the monarch of Latveria. Meanwhile, then there's the parasite was right there, and he's not happy because he wanted Doom to take him, to allow him to feed off of the power of Superman. So while Clark is in New York, he stops in at the Daily Bugle and says he'd kind of like to do a little bit of work there while he's freelance, while he is on sabbatical from WGN and the Planet. He meets the people. Of course, Jonah, he's sure happy to get that. Yeah, look at this crowd scene, street scene. That's wonderful, great, good panel to panel continuity. I mean, of course, John Buscema, he was a master at visual storytelling. He has to meets people, has to take off. He does this to make himself fairly high profile in New York and take any possible retribution or target him as being a known friend of Superman away from his real other friends in Metropolis. Saves a plane in danger, does super feats, generally being Superman, catching bad guys, ticking off J. Jonah when he doesn't snap to. There he is again, saving a train. Just general super feats, just being Superman. And Jonah is so concerned about what kind of stand he's going to take on Superman, because he's always been against costume vigilantes. So Supes goes to Latveria, try to scope the thing out. Unbeknownst to him, he was detected and being watched. Then goes back to check about the weapons that he had heard about, that the bank robbers had that Spidey had come across, and uses his supervision, takes a peek, does some sketches, gives them to the cops, because then be aware that next time they're handled, they're rigged to blow up. And then back to Doom, and here we see Doom and the Parasite, and he's got off panel. He has captured the Hulk again, turned him into the Hulk. It's got him in a stasis tube, and of course, Parasite, he wants stuff done now, and Doom is not happy with that, because Parasite doesn't want to be a lackey, but he doesn't really have much choice. He's virtually a prisoner of Doom, and Doom lets him know it. Here, Pete strikes out, trying to get a date with Lana Lang, who's a bit older than him, and of course, becomes the butt of jokes. But Spidey, like Clark before him, kind of gets one up on him by having webbed up his chair so that when Lombard sits in it, he's glued to it. And here he's in a little room that he's renting. Goes out swinging, try to help the cops, and catch a bad guy. Something accidental happens. See if you can see that. The detail in those guns. Go back in focus. Good drawing. Good work. And so they start shooting at Spidey, and the bad guy gets away until the cops catch him. And Spidey again. He's just doubting himself at every turn here, largely due to the fact that he was just so ineffectual against the Hulk when Superman got there. Here he is zooming around, and he notices, his Spidey senses tingling at this place, just like it did at that construction site where the bank robbery was going on. And he checks out. Oh, there's some big underground facility. All these guards knocked out. What the heck's going on? And there's Wonder Woman, and she is just cleaning house and avoiding being captured. What the heck? And of course, it's Dr. Doom. He wanted Wonder Woman for something here, because she was. And then they spot Spider-Man there, and of course Wonder Woman, with a little bit of help from Doom, saying "Kill her, kill her." On the loudspeaker, Wonder Woman thinks Spidey is working for Doom, and he doesn't get a chance to explain. she tries to take him out. So they wind up fighting over a misunderstanding until Spidey gets a chance to actually explain when he in a position when he could take her out. But then Doom takes her out. Spidey tries to get away. There's Wonder Woman being captured, and Spidey gets the heck out of there. Well, not out of there. He's following him. They can't catch him. He sees what's going on. There's a parasite. He wants to feed on her, bleed her dry right there. And then we get back his backstory, which I'm not going to go into. And Doom is constantly kind of virtually putting down him. And he explains the parasite. Now he begins to explain his plans. He's got these facilities all over the world, and he's got this plan going on that's going to, at the right moment, it's going to neutralize all nuclear fuel in the world. So there will be no nuclear weapons, no nuclear power plants, and he will then have a lock and control of world power, at least as far as nuclear is concerned, because he has a fusion reactor, fusion technology that he will then use to control. By controlling the power, will control everyone. And here, as Spidey is calling out, Superman appears, tells him the story. Supes goes down. Said, "This is a job for Superman." And, well, yeah, I guess it is. And he's feeling, well, I guess I should just take off then. But no, I can't. He goes in after him. There's Supes smashing in. Aha! There's Superman and Doom using his blasters from his armor, but the parasite goes after him because he really wants to suck Superman dry. But Supes is smart, keeps away from keeps the parasite away from him, and the soldiers take in the guards go on completely ineffectual. Superman easily takes him out, but then there's a giant super robot to take on Superman. So Supes has his hands full. And Doom kind of explains his, as they do, monologuing, telling his plan. And then Spidey is up against the parasite, trying to stay away. But in the long run, he winds up going back, helping Superman against the super robot, smashes it to smithereens. And then, again, it's the kryptonite. Takes out Superman. And the parasite takes out Spidey. So now they're both captured. And now everything revolves. The four superheroes are captured. Supes is green because he's got kryptonite particles on his body from the gas that Doom had doused him with. And Spidey is the only one who's conscious, although he can't move. He is the only one, and here they need. Doom begins to reveal his plan for the parasite. He's going to suck all the power out of these people, and even though it will so much, it will destroy the parasite. He gets up. Spidey uses his webs up Superman, and tries to use the adhesive on the webbing to remove as much of the kryptonite dust as possible. But here, parasite, his spider sense is tingling, because he had just got some of the power from Spidey, and he has some of his powers, so he realizes something's not right, and that Doom is going to use him. So they fight. Meanwhile, Superman and Spider-Man are free. And they come in again. Now here Supes does something, a real bit of smart writing, I think, because Doom had revealed that his armor is insulated against the parasite's power, and Superman figured as much. Takes one of the gauntlets from Doom's armor, puts it on so he can really knock the crap out of Parasite. So he's no longer a threat. But while they were fighting, while Doom and Parasite were fighting, here you see smashed. Oh no, my control panel! So his controls for his reactor. His reactor's going crazy, and it's gonna. Oh no, it's about to blow. We have just seconds left, so the controls are damaged. You fix them, Spidey. And then he goes down trying to delay the runaway reaction, which I don't think would actually work with a fusion reaction, with a fusion reactor. It could possibly with a fission reactor, but not fusion. It would have. But Spidey, here's all his fears and inadequacies really come up. Oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Well, wait, I'm a scientist. I know what to do. I can figure this out, even though this is technology I'm not familiar with. While Soups is trying to hold off the imminent explosion, Spidey goes ahead and he finds his confidence, and he starts tinkering with the controls. Meanwhile, Doom tries to get away in a rocket ship he's got. He gets in. Okay, I'll get away, and he can't leave because meanwhile, Spidey had already found it and webbed up all the controls, so he can't do anything. There, he gets it fixed. Phew! They're both phew. Soups is safe. Spidey's safe, and then Doom's trying to get away, and Soups almost catches him, but he gets to the Latverian embassy just before, so Superman can't touch him, nor can Spider-Man. Well, that wraps that up. Doom is free, but all the other bad guys have been wrapped up. Wonder Woman and Hulk are free, and Clark goes back to WGN and the Daily Planet. Glad to have you back. And Peter goes back to the Daily Bugle. Yeah, glad to have you back. And even J. Jonah is glad to see him because, well, he was kind of put off by someone he couldn't boss around like he can Peter in the form of Clark Kent. So here we go. I'm gonna get that last image again. And it's a good, fun read. It's a fairly long read. Great artwork and surprisingly good writing. I liked some of the things that Shooter did in there. Good continuity. Of course, it fits into neither universe at all, but it's a good fun read. You know, no continuity. Of course, you're not going to have the continuity. Of course, they have crossovers again of various kinds, but I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed reading these things.